It came as quite a surprise that in our opening match of VCT Masters Toronto vs Wolves, we banned Sunset. Historically, Sunset has been Sentinel's best map. Before Toronto, we had a 75% win rate on it across 24 official matches, but that was with our old roster. After the Wolves game, Sunset became our map pick in every matchup at Toronto, much to the confusion of the analyst desk. That confusion was quickly pushed aside when the new Sen roster hit the streets and reminded everyone it's called Sunset for a reason. So why is it that our attack side is just so dominant on Sunset? It comes down to three basic principles. First, we have a strong default, showing presence across the map and getting control of key areas. Then, we deposit Zelsis into one part of the map to lurk for info. Lastly, we deposit Narrate elsewhere on the map to take fights and show presence, pulling rotates from the defenders. Once all three of these are done, the boys can regroup with Zelsis and take a site for free. Let's look at round 17 versus Billy Gaming, where we use this tactic beautifully.
This is probably the last best chance wire to get into this second half.
Aggression in B main. Just going to be forced back. They don't want to deal with this spam. Levius wants to pick up a trip actually to just adjust that somewhere else into the site to play off of later. Hoping to catch Zekin. Those tripwires can be the bane of the Neon's existence. That hasn't really come into play yet, however.
But obviously, Sunset was changed so that that trip is not unbreakable anymore, but that was a factor of champs last year, so these teams have long since adapted to the changes that Sunset brought way back then.
Rusha is holding a devious angle on main. Oh my god!
Cover going up.
Don't ask me how he saw that. It's going to punish the little tight swing. Tension really building. They know BLG are on the precipice here. They just need to give them a little push. Neff flashes himself out. Fault line was going to come from him anyway. And why is he tries to swing off it? The fault line caught Neon. And now BLG down to 3. Guardian in half. Varucci has got to stand his ground now. Found the Prowler. And all of a sudden, sent around a dodge. They're leaving.
There are 15 seconds left. John is taking this fight all the way through spawn. Can he get
so much?
Oh, okay. Rushi sees this. He knows they're going to get ahead of this.
One.
Oh
Yes.
my god, this timing is
Just.
Bro, okay, all right. I mean, sure, that was
0.33 seconds remaining. That is the tightest clearance that you could ask for. And BLG, again, it's Levius, just in dismay, has to drag himself onto the site and face the music. The Sentinels, it's a cacophony of cheers.
I can't believe he knew that timing. He had me sweating bullets.
It's a round where both teams have bought guns, and it starts off with everyone going B main to take control, except for Narrate, who's watching the mid flank. Zelsis throws a cage for cover and then cams above, tagging Knight and spotting Levius. This pressure scares Levius and Knight away back into B, giving us full control of B main. With Billy out of B main, we fall back and look to explore the map towards A. Everyone goes back through spawn to A main, except for Zelsis, who throws a trip across the entrance to B and then falls back to spot mid and lurk around for info. As we're creeping up A, Russia hits an insane shot, taking Zekin out of the round. He smokes us off and falls back to site holding elbow, while Neff knifes for info. Never backing down from a fight, Narrate prowlers through the smoke and swings out with Bang, only to find both short and elbow clear. Narrate jiggles short and spots Neff. John hits a nice stun, letting Bang and Narrate swing out, catching Neff, as well as YZ coming in for support. Bang smokes off A-Link and CT. Narrate tosses out a Haunt, and even Knight falls the A site, putting on tons of pressure. Let's pause here for a second and look at three things. First, take a look at the clock. There's 23 seconds left. Next, where are the BLG players positioned? You have Russia and Elbow, and then you have Knight and Levius in a full sprint to A. The last thing we want to look at is, where's John going? That's right, with 23 seconds left in the round, this madman is running to B. Getting back to the action, Narrate is being an absolute terror on A, throwing a Prowler down elbow before running back to short and taking out Knight. Bang says later bro, and Omen ults onto B, leaving Narrate to keep selling the fake and do as much damage as possible, which is a ton since he takes out Russia, who finally realized the bomb isn't there. Over on B, John manages to get the spike down with 0.33 seconds remaining. Left in a 1v4, Levius has no choice but to run onto B, where Bang puts him down. In this round, we see the principles I described above. We show presence in one part of the map, leave Zelsis to lurk, take slow control of the other side of the map, make our presence known, leaving Narrate to take on all comers, while everyone else runs back to Zelsis to plant the spike. And we didn't just use this versus Billy Gaming. In our game versus XLG, we pulled off this strat in round 5, where we set up Zelsis for a lurk on B, sent Narrate to draw attention to A, before regrouping and hitting B.
Watching this team in China is that they would go down early, win an eco, and then come right back barreling into the game. Got a few sheriffs here, Raga with that ghost. They want to go for a push down A, take a little space off of this one way that Coconut's got up, standard, to control this area of the map.
And they'll always be looking to double or triple up, even in this sort of pistol round. Those XLG fundamentals have been instrumental in turning them from a 5th, 6th place team in kickoff to by far the #1 seed. Only dropping maps and a cheeky series to BLG. Coconut here caught by the fault line.
Where are you?
Now it'll slowly scale into that area given up.
There.
It was after that aforementioned BLG loss that they go on an 8-match win streak. Beating them again. Vivo with the first shot, second in a little bit of trouble, but John's there to support. Cleans up those 2 anchors in market. Site now vacant. Throwing the plant over to Narrate. That's going to get him the Nightfall.
That's the kind of trading Sentinels had to have into the site like this. No free rounds, no clean rounds against XLG. Zekken will be waiting on this now. Coconut sets up a course with a smoke over it all to B main. That does leave Zekken as the sole player in the site. Just a little bit of a shoulder peek there. Raga not in a position to follow. Oh, okay. Headlong into that one he goes, but Zekken wants a little more. Wow, get away! 10 health in a dream. Of course, that overdrive develops. Fast lane, you'd think would get him out, but somehow Midi's just picked his spot perfectly.
The headshot.
It didn't have to be, really, did it?
No, that's some ridiculous overkill. Midi just going to fall to the spike here. Sen will be very content to get out of this round.
The round starts off with Zekken and Narrate holding an A push, John and Bang set up for a trap play on tiles, and Zelsis towards B main. Once the barrier drops, Zelsis tosses a cam onto B main to watch for any pushes. Meanwhile, Bang teleports to the divider between mid and tiles, waiting to see if there's going to be a push. Once we see that XLG isn't pushing B main or mid, Bang smokes off mid and creeps up with Zekken and John. Narrate detects some pressure towards A main, with Coconut doing the standard one-way smoke. Wanting to get active, Narrate drops the spike for John and sets up to pressure A. He sends a Prowler to clear the smoke and then swings out, supported by a flash stun combo from John. Finding no resistance, Narrate tosses a haunt onto elbow and tags up Coconut through the box. This draws a response from XLG, with Coconut throwing a paranoia down A main and Raga swinging out from elbow, only to find nothing. That's because everyone but Zelsis has grouped up near market to execute onto the site. John flashes through the wall, and the hit comes in. Bang catches one to the dome from Viva, but Zekken and John are there to trade him out, as well as getting Happy Way. With the 2 B defenders dealt with, we can waltz into the site and get a free plant. From here, Zekken goes crazy, hitting nice shots onto Coconut and Raga before dancing around and breaking Midi's ankles in market.
Headlong into that one he goes, but Zekken wants a little more. Wow, get away! 10 health in a dream.
Midi gets his revenge though, hitting a lucky sheriff shot through Zekken's fast lane. But by this point, the round's already over. We bail on the site, leaving Midi to get taken out by the spike. So what did we see in this round? We had Zelsis lurking B main, Narrate drawing attention towards A, and then a clean execute through market onto the site. Once we have the spike down, Zekken makes everyone's life easier by diffing Raga and Coconut. I can already hear you guys. Narrate didn't stay and fight A main. This video's bullshit. Well, that's because we knew XLG was on a weak bye. Why would you stay and fight there alone? All Narrate would be doing is giving XLG a chance to get a gun and crawl back into the round. That's what's so smart about this play. You can adjust it and adapt based on what you know about your opponent's economy. This is just masterful meta, and it wasn't just in these 2 rounds. Go back and watch our games on Sunset from across the tournament. Look for how effective Zelsis' lurks were in providing info to the team, and then also look at just how nasty Narrate is when it comes to taking duels. While we didn't go as far as we'd like in the tournament, there's no denying that this was an improvement over Bangkok. Just ignore that PRX game, because what can you do when Jing's having a life game?